What's going on, Faded Culture? It's Sergio Barron and we're back again with another tutorial. Today I'm gonna run y'all down my step-by-step process on doing a comb over with a skin ball fade. And before we start, make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel as that does help us out. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay guys, so to begin this haircut, I'm gonna dampen the hair a little bit so we can start trimming the hair up top to the desired length. I'll start by grabbing about a finger in length of a section at a time, starting from the crown or the back area. And you'll see here that I'm basing 2 fingers from the scalp up just to determine how much hair I will be trimming away. If you'd like to leave the hair a little longer, you can also even base 3 fingers from the scalp up, and that'll give you a little bit more length up top. But for this comb over, I'm gonna just be using 2 fingers. And as you see here, I'm gonna just keep moving forward about a finger in length at a time until we reach the front area and the whole middle section is trimmed away. So now that all of the middle is already cut, that's going to basically be our guideline to show us how much to trim on the left side and the right side of the top of the head. So you see here, I'm going to repeat the same process on the left side of the head and just basically pull up a section at a time, looking for that middle guideline and then just trimming away the excess hair to match the middle. And then we're just going to repeat the same process on the right side of the head. And next I'm going to go ahead and set in my hard part. So I'm gonna dampen the hair a little bit, that way the hair is a lot more manageable to move. And then I'll use the fine side of the fine side teeth of the comb to basically grip the hair a little more easier, and then make way for me to set in my hard part with my clippers. I'll set it in first with the clippers right side up, and then I'll come back and, as you see here, upside down, just to get it a little more detailed. And next I'm gonna just blow dry everything nice and dry just so we can start using our clippers. And next I'm gonna come in with the 1 guard lever closed, that's a true 1, to trim the left side of his head. This is the desired length that my client likes to have on this side of his part, but by all means, if you'd like to keep a little bit of a longer length up top, you could always run like a 2 guard or a 3 guard. That's just preference. And make sure you're just giving it several passes and brushing away any loose hairs as you move. That way everything is nicely cut and even. As we reach the back of the part, since only the left side is gonna be cut to a 1, I'm gonna gradually open the lever and kind of blend into the back length of the hair so that there's just not like a hard cut between the 1 and whatever the back length is. And now we'll start setting in our first guideline. I'm gonna come in with the clipper set to a 0, and that's just the clipper with no guards and the lever closed all the way. And I'm gonna start my first guideline right here about the temple peak area, and I'm gonna move straight back and then just follow it around all the way to the opposite side of the head to the same starting point that we started on, this initial side. And next I'm gonna come in with the lever open. That's a half, and I'm gonna come up about a finger in length up high to set in our second guideline. And now that second guideline is set, now I'm gonna come in with my 1 guard lever open to set in our third guideline. On this side of the head, since the top length was a 1, you won't be really doing much, but I'm gonna still run it on there just in case there's any little hairs that might have been left behind. And I'm gonna continue the process all the way to the back side and the right side. And this is where you'll actually see the third guideline being set. Now moving forward, I'm gonna throw on the 2 guard and I'm gonna keep the lever open. That's a 2.5. And here we're basically gonna start trying to focus on blending the side length to the top. Not coming up too much, but just about another finger in length. And yeah, as you see here, just trying to connect the side length to the top. And we'll only be needing to go to the back and the right side of the head since the left side is too short. And next I'm gonna repeat the same process with the 3.5. That's 3 guard with the lever open. And do the exact same thing we did with the 2, just coming up a little bit higher. And for better reference, you can set a comb down on the side of his head, just so you can kind of see the direction that you want to be moving your clipper towards and not digging into the hair. So then next, I'm gonna just do any clipper over comb just to finally connect everything from the side length to the top length. And with the clipper over comb, you're just gonna want to comb in and kind of just pull out, creating like a box shape, and then trimming away any excess hair that sticks out of the comb. And now as you see here, we're left with our 3 guidelines. We're gonna start by blending out the uppermost guideline first. And for this, we'll be using the 1.5 clip, and I'm gonna open the lever at 3/4, and I'm gonna start blending away a small section at a time until we get it completely taken out. I like to use the corners of the clippers as that helps me get in there in a more detailed manner to help me finish blending out the top guideline. And since the left side of his head does not have a 3rd guideline, we'll only be needing to blend right here up into the back. Next, I'm gonna throw on the 1/2 clip, keeping the lever in the same position just to start blending out this 2nd guideline. You'll notice that when you're taking out this 2nd guideline, it'll kind of leave like a little softer guideline right above it. But don't try to take it out with this guard, as you will end up taking up the fade a little high. So just focus on taking out just the initial start of this guideline all around, and whatever is left above, you'll come back around with the 1 guard to finish taking it out. And next, like we said before, I'm gonna leave the lever in the same position, throwing on the 1 guard just to finish taking out this 2nd guideline. Try and focus on small sections at a time so you don't get overwhelmed when taking out these guidelines. Now we'll be left with this last guideline, and to remove that, I'm gonna start with the clipper lever closed, and then I'll open it halfway and then all the way, gradually opening it up as I move up into the blend. So you'll see here, I start with the lever closed, and then you'll see me, I open it halfway, blending up a little higher, and then I open it all the way to finish blending in the fade all together. And when I'm doing this last step in blending out these guidelines, I like to work in small sections at a time. So like you'll see here, I'm blending only from the temple area to like about the back of his ear, and I'll focus on taking out this guideline completely here before moving on to the back section of the head. So yeah, once you feel that section is nicely blended, we'll move forward to another section and repeat the same process until we get it all blended out all around the entire head. And remember, just using small strokes at a time, starting with the lever closed and then gradually open the lever as you're moving up higher, and then until everything just looks nice and nicely blended. And once you're done with that guideline, it's a good idea to take a step back and try to see any little dark areas that might need some touch up. And for this haircut, I noticed that there was some dark areas, so I came back in with the half guard open to about 3/4 and just looking for any dark areas that might need blending. I'll quickly just pinpoint them and then just kind of with the corners of the clippers trying to split those dark areas to achieve that blend. And next I'm gonna start taking out the bottom hair, and first I'll come in with the clipper upside down as this achieves a broader guideline, and then I'll flip the clipper right back over to take out that little faint guideline that it will leave. And I'm gonna repeat that same process on the back and the right side of the head. And once that's done, you'll just start by taking out the rest of the bottom hair. And since we started with that clipper upside down, you'll see here that it's gonna, when you're taking out the bottom of the hair, it's gonna kind of leave like a little faint line as you take out the top of this hair. And that's gonna serve as a guideline as to how high to take your electric shavers. And remember that when you're using the electric shaver, as you reach the top of the guideline, make sure you're kind of releasing any pressure that you're using. That way you're not creating any little dark guidelines with the electric shaver. And once you're done, if needed, you can always come back to with your trimmer again, just to tie in any little faint areas that might need some blending. And next I'm gonna set in some guidelines to blend down the beard, starting with the half, and then the 1.5, and then the 2.5. That's how I'll set in my guidelines. And I'll start removing these guidelines the same way that we did on top of the head, starting with the 1.5 clip open to the 3/4 to take out the bottom most line, and then the half clip open to 3/4, and then with the clipper with no guards, starting with the 0 and then gradually open the lever as you're moving down into the blend. And we'll repeat the same process on both sides of his beard. And moving forward, I'm gonna clip up the top front of his hair out of the way so we can start our lineup process. I will start by gently setting in my first guide in the middle of his forehead, and then moving to the left and the right side of the head to create the box shape to like a 90-degree angle. And remember, when doing his lineup, try and stay as natural as possible with it by not pushing his hairline any further back. And moving forward, we'll just start by lining up his facial hair before we come in with our straight razor to sharpen everything up. And before using my straight razor, I like to apply some sort of shaving gel so that I don't cause any skin irritation. And then I'll come in with my straight razor and I'll first shave with the grain just to take out most of this hair gel. And then I'll come back against the grain and really push up against the line a little bit just to get it really detailed. It's a good idea that when you're lining up his facial hair, you gotta kind of visualize it first on the head before you come in and actually set it down. For me, I like to always set in the top of his beard and I kind of aim it towards the corners of his lip, and then and just follow it up to his sideburns. And once it's set, I'll just turn the razor upside down just to shave against the grain and get it really close to the skin. And once I'm done, I'll give it a second pass, this time kind of brushing away any hair that might have been left on the hairline so that you can see the hairline more clearly. And then just kind of go back in there and get it really detailed. And next I'm gonna just come in and spray a little bit of enhancements on his front hairline. For my enhancements mixture, I just use equal parts, half water, half Kiss Express. I'll link the Kiss down in the description. And now to really bring out this haircut, I'm gonna apply a little bit of some pomade up top and give it a little bit of shine. And I'll kind of just work it in there with my hands, and then I'll come back with the comb just to achieve this comb over look. And that's pretty much it, guys. Here's a little before. And here's the after. I hope y'all guys enjoyed this video on a skin ball fade with the comb over. Let me know down in the comment sections y'all's thoughts on it, and let us know what other videos y'all like us to go over. Again guys, my name is Sergio Barron. This is Faded Culture, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.